another Chupacabra sighting.
Good morning from Arizona. I'm here with Brent, American Engineering. Brent, what are we doing out here today?
We're taking out your brand new ultimate fun PreRunner race car today.
Boom! Finally! Months and months we got her going. This is our maiden voyage today. Couldn't be more excited, lifelong dream for me. The off-road gods bless us with some moisture, no dust. Look at how green it is in Arizona right now. Let's go let's go take a look at her real quick. So Brent, since we last left off, she was maybe halfway together. How does it feel to get this sucker running and go out and drive it here in a few minutes?
It feels great. It's been a lot of work and really proud the way it turned out, really happy. And I think it's got a lot of attention, and rightfully so. I think this is the next step for a lot of people that want a RZR and want to have comfort, reliability, and be able to pre-run with it, maybe race a few races, and enjoy a nice, comfortable, fun, safe ride.
So we didn't get into the nitty-gritty yet of getting this thing from part 2 to where you see it now, but we're gonna go take it out and cruise a little bit, get a little pretty drone shot, do some riding, and then follow up with our first thoughts on what we think and where we need to go. This is just obviously phase 1, getting her running and then tuned and get her running well. All right, 1 week later, we're back in action. The car's in the dirt. We got to do a little bit of riding. We found the culprit. The CBR radiator has a fan and then a temp sensor. The fan is a generation 2, the temp sensor is a generation 1. We called them, it was this gray plug. So thanks CBR, they sent us out a new black sensor. Fan's working, and here we're back 1 week later. Got to put our first spin on the car. So Brent and I both drove the car back to back with the stock RZR. Both of these cars have essentially the same power plant, just a stock 168 horsepower turbo. It was a great experience to finally get to run this thing, and super happy. I can't believe how much more stable and comfortable and predictable it feels with the wider track width, and of course being that much lower to the ground. So power-wise, as I anticipated, I thought it was a little bit slower than the stock RZR. To be expected, the car's heavier. We did clutch it to get it ready for the heavier weight, and we got a little bit more tuning to do. I'll show you some background footage of the car here. We've got to get the intake set up for some fresh air for the fan, and as well as intake setup dialed for the airbox. But car was running good enough today to go test it out and make sure everything's going all good. So I'm over the moon happy. I mean, months and months of work and planning. All the parts come together, all of Brent's hard work, and Brent just got out of the car, so I'll let him tell you guys what he thought about it.
Really impressed. It's you know, I've been in this sport for a long time, been in a lot of different vehicles. This thing, man, it's like a class 1 car. We put a race car master cylinder in it. The brakes are incredible on it, very smooth. I was really impressed with the power. When you ride in the stock car RZR with it, you see when you're going fast, you feel fast because of just how narrow it is, but because this is lower and wider and smoother, you think you're going slower, but you're really going faster. I mean, it's just really, it was really amazing. The car handles great. We do need to probably do a little more clutch tuning, a little more ECU tuning to optimize all the power, but really impressed with everything. Everything worked great. Temps were awesome. It's just a good day in the car.
Yeah, it's funny. Started off in this car, then jumped in the stock, and this car feels like you are going slower. Everything just feels safer. The track, predictable. One thing I was interested too, we don't have a front sway bar on it like a stock turbo does, and the much stiffer rear. Even though the ride height's comparable, we're like 16 in the front, 15 and a half in the rear, pretty close to what that car set up. This feels like it's in slow motion more, like everything's easier and safer, and you're not pushing it near as hard as when you get back in the stock car. So I never want to own a narrow car again, which is funny because I was thinking, oh man, I like how the narrowness, you can kind of set up lines, and I don't think you can really lose out on much of this. It's just better. Everything about it is better. And I was really also nervous too, like when I get in an X3, it's a little hard to see out of, even though I'm tall. But this car, the way Brent set the seats up, he ended up welding in some brackets for the adjustable Sparco seat bases, and it feels great. You can see out of it. You know, I can see what the car is doing. I don't feel like I'm tucked in there, but I still feel really low and really stable.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to build something like this, you could pre-run for days in this and be totally comfortable. I mean, the way the seats is, the ergonomics of everything I got in it, very comfortable, very easy to drive, just all around impressed with everything on it.
Yeah, in terms of pre-running and making it more of an everyday, which I'll be using some of it too, maybe some future episodes, Brent might fabricate some type of a little holder for, you know, once we figure out where our tools are going to be, and maybe for a small cooler, that type of thing. But so far, it's awesome. We're going to jump back in this thing, get some footage, and go have some more fun.
Another Chupacabra sighting.
I've never run across anything like this.
Do you believe in the Chupacabra?